use the number one tool of every consultant and say, if you have two dimensions, just make a grid and automatically know something, right?
Right.
So there were two issues that are really hot on CEOs' minds, and competitive advantage is one of them, and pricing power is another. Warren Buffett helped put that on people's minds.
Right.
And so you just create a grid and start thinking about, well, where do I sit in comparison with my competitors? And Apple would be easily sitting in both having a competitive advantage. I mean, they have TSMC making chips, they have Foxconn putting together the phones, et cetera. They've been doing this. And they also have pricing power. It's an Apple. You love it. Oh my gosh, it's a perfect ecosystem. Steve Jobs is brilliant. We all say these kinds of things, right? And so they have pricing power. And when Samsung drops a little bit, Apple can kind of just keep moving forward, right? There's a completely different game than if you're a Xiao or a Xiaomi or some other handset maker, right? Then you move into the area where you have no price, no competitive advantage. Your cost to produce is the same as the next person's cost to produce, relatively, but you do have some pricing power. There was a drug. Drugs, let's be honest, I think you know well, cost nothing to make, virtually, maybe 2 cents a pill. Okay, so it's really low cost to make. It's all the value comes in, do I heal you with my pills? That's the question, right? And so there was a patent on these pills. And what these pills did is they treated hepatitis C, killing disease, which many Americans got back in the 1960s. Can't imagine how. Ha-ha. And they're older, and now it's time for the hepatitis C to cause some challenges so their liver and kill them. Well, there was a drug developed which actually cures you from hepatitis C about 95% of the time, which is extremely good. Cure, never before existed, a total cure. And the drug formula, the way you take it was 1 pill a day. And it was good. Now, a competitor came in and was able to make a biosimilar or a similar type solution, could not produce it in 1 pill a day format due to patents. They had to produce it in the 4 to 6 pills a day format because of patents, right? So now we have a barrier to entry into totally copying them, but it's not a particularly strong barrier to entry, right? Now, the problem is if you miss a pill, you die.
Right.
Okay? So which do you want? The pill, 1 pill a day or 4 to 6?
Obviously, one. It's a
one, right.
Yeah.
Now, the guys who came out with the 4 to 6 pills a day were selling it at $20,000 a cycle, cheaper than the other. And the other was about $90,000. And remember, the alternative is liver surgery, which is about $125,000 for a liver replacement, or death.
Right.
I'm not going to put a number on that one.
Right.
Okay. And they were like constantly being berated. How are you going to respond to this cheaper alternative? How are you going to respond? What are you going to do? And they would just keep repeating one phrase. It's 1 pill a day. It's a simpler regimen. Patients are more likely to stick with it.
Right.
So here you're using communication to manage this cheaper alternative and set branding, set the expectations in the brain to say, I need this because it's more likely to work for me. Yes, they did have to drop the price a little bit, but the competitor, no more, gone.
Right.
They made a big deal about how it was going to be a $3 billion product line when they started.
Right.
Within a year, they stopped talking about it in the annual reports.
Right.
No more.
Right.